When mixing toms, it's very common to treat each tom separately, but in this clip, Dan explains why he prefers to do it all on one track, particularly when working with drum libraries rather than real drums. Dan also explains how he processes the toms so they can fit perfectly with the rest of the kit and not take over any other key elements of the song. Check it out.
The toms are not separated. I have them panned out for me the way I wanted them panned. Here in Superior, I don't think I used all 5 toms. I think we used probably 1 rack and 2 floor, but I kept them in anyway because I'm a lazy guy. So we have them all sending to out 11, 12, pan respectively, no processing. These are all sent here. So now I'm gonna go and EQ them all together. Sometimes I'll go in and I'll, if one of these toms is jumping out, like say, sometimes the floor tom will have a weird resonance. I'm going to go and just grab the EQ here and I'm going to pull it out there. It's like super easy. I have all the tools to do that here. So I don't want to make my job harder by like making an aux for every tom, because that, to me, that's counterintuitive. I have the tool here. And that's what's great about all the drum programs now. A lot of them have the capability of doing a lot of mixing, in here. So once again, like don't discount the power of the plugins they give you or EQs or whatever in there. There's nothing wrong with using those. So let me go to verse 2 where Zev is playing like a little tom groove. I'll loop that section. So off the bat, they're pretty weak, but there's hope in there. There's hope because we have another kitchen sink EQ coming up. Okay. So similar to like what I did with the kick, I'm starting with a really just, I've just been pulling stuff up and down till I like it. And I'm doing this probably while I'm listening to the mix. And I'll even like see here, like say I had it like this. I'll draw a point here just to like make that boost less. I'm not gonna go and like grab all these and then like move them up. I would rather make a point here and just do that. I don't think that's so bad. I'm also adding like double volume because we know the rule +6 double perceived loudness, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Then we're adding a little more. We're adding some 5 because, yep, I was afraid of it here, so added it here, and I also added some 2. Start to hear them resonating. Okay, let's hear in context for a second. I mean, they sound like toms. It's getting there. Are my vocals muted? Huh. Ah, I know why. Okay. Cool. Okay. So we're gonna keep going now. A little bit of Transify because I want more shell attack. Here. This thing can really help toms. It can also really destroy toms if you go too hard. I try to be conservative with it, but I'm getting that nice high mid pop. I'm getting a nice low mid pop. I mean, high mid pop and high pop, not a low mid pop. Okay, so this next guy is a little bit of like a secret weapon plugin situation. I don't know if I used it on the last mix I did here, but I really love this thing on toms. It does something that I really like. It just like, so I got the sub point at 62.9. Let me just turn each one of these dials. You guys can see what this dude is doing. It's kind of got like an R-bass quality to the sub. It's like definitely adding, it's not an EQ, you know, this thing is like adding harmonics in each of these spaces. This is not an EQ. So it's adding harmonic distortion in each spot that are, you know, Shep's pre-chose here. The thick is more like the mid-range. But it's just one of those plugins that just like does something that I like. I don't know what it is. It's really aggressive. It's not smooth. It's just bitey. It almost feels like it actually compresses also, like a multi-band compression harmonic frequency exciter or something. And you can also link gain on input and output, so you can hit it less hard if you like, which is a good way. It's almost like a mix control. You can really go ham with it. Okay, let's get it back to where I had it. There we go. Okay, next drum reverb is, oh, you know what? Actually, let's hear this in the song.
Yep.
It's quite a bit of a volume boost, so you can use your imagination. It's helping. Next we have Valhalla. I have the high cut trimmed off more here than I did on the snare. Large room mode. Sounds a little slappy in solo, but it works nice in the mix. The slap actually kind of helps to increase the length of each tom hit. Also, there's something cool about processing all the toms together rather than individually. I would do this if I had a drum kit too. I would just send all my toms to a tom bus and then process them together, because I like the way that they interact when you treat toms together. Because like, especially with Transify too, like, or whatever, like each tom is kind of taking over that transient when it hits and kind of like ducking out the other one. You know, not every tom has to be playing like together at the same time, because then that's combining into like a tom soup. So to me, this bus helps them like coexist a little more. Finally, the classic, a little too cloudy. Took some of that down. I don't know if I needed to do that, but I did. Leaves a little space. And I think when the vocal is in, this will make sense, because she's singing somewhere in that range. And then finally, trim. And I really didn't want the toms to be that loud for this section, because it's all about her vocal once again.